Hi everybody, welcome to this episode of KCTV. My name is Kiejah.
And this is Conley.
And this is where we're going to talk about music, politics, whatever that happens to be on our minds. For today's episode, we decided we were going to talk about just a couple of videos that are sort of starting the chart, but they really haven't, they're sort of on the cusp. They haven't really hit that big yet. The first video that we're going to talk about is Pharrell Williams' Marilyn Monroe. So, do you want to start on this, or do you want me to start?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start on this one. All I have to really say at the beginning, which I think we can both agree, 2 words: that hat. It looks like he decided to take a tent and put it on his head. That's how big this hat is. Past that, the lyrical content, I feel it's solid. Everything's together. It isn't all over the place. It's very fluid. As far as the video goes, not so much. It seems to me that it's completely random most of the time. And the choreography, it's like you try to go right and it swings with the left. And there are a few different parts where I think it's pretty cool when it actually ties in. And then there's some places that I just feel it shouldn't belong there. Like, for example, when he comes inside the room and it's split into 3 different sections, the choreography of it, it's actually 3 different styles of dance for each section of the actual sections. However, it looks kind of clustered. Like, you can't figure out which one he's gonna go for. I don't really quite understand where he's trying to go, because it seems like, yes, he's going after one specific woman over and over and over, but he has so many different women, and it feels like he can't figure out what type of girl he really truly wants.
But isn't that sort of like a reference to the dating world as we know it? You can't, get your prince, or your prince, well, in my case, my prince, or in your case, your princess. Don't you feel as though you go through your life basically kissing a lot of different, frogs or frogesses before you finally get, to the one that you're meant to be with? And I think that's sort of the play of the video. He didn't show just one random version of what is attractive on a female. There was white, there was Asian, African, and all different walks of life with all different walks of interest. Even with the dancing, there was one variation where they were doing classical jazz, and another variation they could be doing tutting, and another variation they could be doing hip hop. And I think that is sort of the healthy approach to basically a dating world there, because I don't care who you are. You're not going to go ahead and go through your entire life having one flavor ice cream. You're going to try at least all of them at least once before you find the one that's perfect for you. On a completely unrelated note, hi Kelly Osbourne! Sorry.
By the way, that's one flavor I don't want to try.
Right. So, back to that hat. Oh, that hat. I hate that hat. I hated that hat when he wore it in the Grammys, when he wears it out on other red carpets, and I hate it today. You give back that hat back to Arby's. They want their mascot back. Do you hear me? I don't want to see you with that hat. It's ugly, okay?
Hey. The hat, I'll have to say one thing, the hat's not that bad. After all, if he lets me borrow it for a weekend, I can make a jump out of it, just stick a board on it, you can ramp over it, it'll be fine.
And another thing I also want to point out, with a little bit of interesting things that I noticed. In the beginning, why was Pharrell Williams wearing a long pearl necklace? Did anybody else notice this?
I did notice. And then it switched from pearl necklace to gold chain, and I'm kind of like, where's he going with this?
The thing that I did go ahead and appreciate at the very end of the video was, beyond the dancers, when he finally chose one, and this was his ideal mate. The only thing that I would say is that for her costume, that sort of crop top, with the blue, I don't know, what is it?
Plastic Tupperware cups?
The Tupperware cups, did that look painful to you? It looked painful to me.
Well, for me, it didn't look painful because, well, for the past 2 scenes that you actually did see her, she had no... My whole point of view towards the whole thing was that as soon as she popped up, but the very first time, I didn't really pay attention to any of the lyrics as soon as they popped up because I was too busy looking at the blue Tupperware. It distracted yourself from the lyrical content so badly that you couldn't really pay attention to anything Pharrell was actually saying in the song.
And all of a sudden it was like, Pax Ahoy!
I had to watch this video a second time just to pay attention to the lyrics the second time around. And even then, I was having problems not looking at her chest, wondering why.
So the next video that we're actually going to talk about is the Welsh singer that was made famous for her hit single Smile. And she's back in the music industry with her latest single, Sheezus.
Now mind you, just to give you a heads up when it comes to this video, if you're a high, I'm just giving you a heads up, if you're giving you a high, this may give you a freak out moment or something, or it may give you an awesome trip. Like, I wouldn't know personally, but I know way too many potheads not to know this.
We're all watching Gaga, L-O-L-O-R, dying for the art, so really she's a martyr. And second best will never cut it for the divas. Give me that crown, bitch, I wanna be Sheezus.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start on this one. Obviously, this song and this music video is obviously a play towards, Kanye West is famously titled Yeezus from last year. I like the fact how she pokes fun at the current state of, pop music. She references, like, the particularly, like, Katy Perry and, like, Rihanna in this song. Press trying to bump up, like, their rivalry between Katy Perry and Lady Gaga, which Lady Gaga had to go, like, to Ryan Seacrest, like, on his radio show and make a declaration: there is no war, there is no feud. He references Beyonce and her way of remarketing, an album. Particularly for Beyonce being that type of caliber of artist, whether you hate her or not. It's like, she's really one of the very few artists out there today that can really, with no promotion before, no, like, releasing singles, no going on any radio stations, no television appearances, nothing, can just drop a full-blown album and it literally sell the way it did. And she is still, to this day, beyond her tours, has done absolutely no press for it, and that is unprecedented for any pop artist, or really any artist anywhere. This song expresses her desire of wanting to get back into the game. I mean, she stepped away for a minute from the music industry and she got married, she had a couple of kids, and the unfortunate miscarriage. And I feel as though it's her singing about her desire to get back into the game, but also understanding the new pitfalls of what she's getting ready to get into, because when she puts herself out there, when you're a public figure, you open yourself up to criticism and being critiqued. And I feel as though this song is a play on the current state of pop. Social media is going to play a part in it as well. And I feel as though this song is sort of a nod to all that, and she understands the rules of what's going on and how she is going to address it accordingly, but how she still wants that fame and she still wants to be a success.
Like, sure, it has a few facing that, but like, my whole point is, I think she is actually looking at the society's points of view, like, as a whole. Like, she's picking out different artists to prove that, hey, you're there and it's awesome, but like, I'm trying to make the next step. She acknowledges different artists for who they are, that they are there. For example, she's pointed out artists like Katy Perry, which was extremely popular. Queen Bee, which, even though you haven't seen her in forever, she was extremely good artist. Like, she's even making fun of Lady Gaga, which we all know is famous. You can't really go down the street and go, yeah, Lady Gaga, and 10 people are gonna immediately know who they are. She also points out that she wants to be the next artist that can make a step up. Don't get me wrong, I didn't really like the video. I liked the lyrical content just because it was controversial, a lot of it. But the video itself, it's very distracting. The multitude of colors, the line work, all that stuff, I just feel that it takes away from the video and the lyrics itself. The one thing I would I'm kind of worried about is not only is it going to end up like, well, Jesus by Kanye West, but I'm also worried about...
Yeezus. Be careful, he'll send us a tweet.
Yeah, that couch. That's all I'm saying. But like, when it comes down to it, like, I keep looking at this video and I hate to say it, but the one thing that keeps popping up is, I'm wondering how the Christians are going to take it to this. But for the shift back, at the very beginning, when she finally says she's enlightened, there's a giant blinding white light behind her. Mm-hmm. There's, like, she's, like, saved. And then immediately afterwards, it goes from that to a chick that's in all feathers in dark clothing. Her eyes are yellow and like they drew like cartoon horns coming out.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I have no idea. When I go in and think of like how the video was shot, I immediately think of Disclosure by featuring Mary J. Blige. From my perspective, it makes it a little bit more interesting, you know, than her just sitting there and, you know, just sort of voguing on cue.
Now, there was one set of lines in here that I want to point out, because I think this is the first time I've ever heard an artist ever say this in any video whatsoever. I'm just about to get my period. Periods, we all get periods every month. That's what the theory is. She is just my hero just because she went that far. But the fact is, at the same time, she's being relevant. I hate to say it, she's falling in that category as far as hip hop goes. Like, I gotta have a sex tape, I gotta f bitches, I gotta do that stuff. But at the same time, she's doing it as a joke.
So that does it for this episode of KCTV. If you want to keep up with any of the stuff that we talked about today, the links of all the stories are all down below, as well as the links to the music videos that we talked about.
And if you want to send us a tweet, the links are down below as well.